Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce you to Mallory. She's the founder of Tribal Trade. She has been using lead quizzes to massively grow her email list, and some of the results she's gotten over the short period of time has been mind-blowing. And today, I just want to sit and chat about her quiz strategy and what she's been doing on lead quizzes to grow her list. So welcome, Mallory. I'm excited to have you on the call today. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Elvis. I appreciate it.
All right. So we're going to kick the questions off with what's made you decide to build a quiz funnel? What kind of triggered the decision for you?
Okay. Well, I decided to create a quiz funnel because I listen to a lot of podcasts for list building, and I'm always looking for new and innovative ways to capture new leads. And I remember last year or a little over a year ago, listening to a podcast from Amy Porterfield, I think it was, and then another podcast. I think it was marketing. I'm not sure which one, but it had what's his name? The guy who does like Uber Suggest. Neil Patel. So yeah,
Neil Patel, exactly.
Yeah, so Neil Patel was talking about quizzes, and I think he featured on your guys' website or not?
Yes,
he is. Yeah. So I think Amy Porterfield was talking about like the content strategy behind quizzes and like why quizzes are so amazing. And she is one of my biggest mentors and are all around list building. So I was like, okay, I'm going to build a quiz. Now it's like, where do I build this quiz? And then that's where I picked up from Neil Patel that lead quizzes had a really good solution for getting like really qualified leads. And it just was like, okay, now we need to brainstorm and find some different ways that we can capture this. But it was also like it's a really fun way to get people engaged in the brand. It's not just like, oh, here's some information and like download this freebie. It's how can you interact almost like a game with something in order to get a certain result. So yeah, it was kind of just like taking list building to a new level, right?
And before quizzes, what were you using initially to generate leads for your business?
Yeah, so before we created our quizzes, we created a smudging guide. So because our business is based on Indigenous culture and educating people on like smudging, sacred medicines, Indigenous teachings, and all of that Indigenous cultural knowledge, the first lead magnet that we created is the like sacred medicines and smudging guide. It's just like how guiding people through the steps of how to smudge with sage, what the sacred medicines are. And I created that one because that would like our YouTube videos that were centered around smudging were the ones that were the most popular. So I was like, okay, people want to know information about smudging. So that was the guide that we created. And I think we used just like a basic like lead pages or something to offer that. And it worked really, really well. And then after that, we created a medicine wheel poster, which is just like a poster. And that was like another kind of resource people wanted. And I think that those were the two. And then we moved on to the quizzes.
All right, perfect. I know Amy Porterfield and Neil Patel, they do a lot of this podcast, and yeah, they're great influencers in that space. Okay, so right now the quiz you have on lead quizzes, what is your spirit animal, the one that is doing very well at the moment? How did you go about creating that? I can see you have 7 questions, a form filled, and based on the way they answer the questions in the quiz, they get 1 of 7 results.
Yes. So it was like our offering and like the content that we talk about at Tribal Trade is so diverse. Like there were so many options that we could go for creating a quiz, and the option that we chose, the direction that we chose to take with the quiz was definitely based on what keyword searches were highest. So I figured we could talk about spirituality, we could talk about Indigenous culture and identity, and we could talk about smudging, or like, what about, and then like, I tried to think like, okay, spirit animals, like, what is my spirit animal? Is like people often search in Google, like a question, right? And that question was by far like the highest search, had the highest search volume. So the only thing that was kind of the challenge that we faced there was that, what is my spirit animal? And like people learning about their spirit animal. It's really trendy topic. Like a lot of people want to know that. Now, using that topic in an Indigenous culture context was kind of difficult because it's so trendy and has tons and tons of searches. It's also can be kind of, what do you call it, like commercialized and
Exactly.
not as authentic, right? So we added kind of a subtitle in the quiz, and that the like your spirit animal was based on the 7 grandfather teachings, which is very authentic in Indigenous culture. It's very unique, and that's kind of what made our quiz so different. So we had like the power of like a really popular search term, what is my spirit animal? And then we were able to incorporate a really authentic like teaching that is what we're all about into the results themselves. So that's why I think it's been a successful quiz for us.
I'm really excited when I see, businesses using quizzes to their due diligence before creating the quizzes. So right now you have your quiz title that is, ranking a lot on social media, and also you found a way to link it to what you're currently doing. So yeah. Good job. Great job. Okay. All right. Now, if I'm correct, you're currently driving traffic from Facebook to a landing page that has your quiz embedded, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you're going to share some of the creatives with us later, but can you tell us the stats of the what you're seeing on Facebook? What is the cost per lead? Do you have an idea?
I can't tell you that because I'm not the one that does it. But I
Okay.
know that we do get a lot of traffic from our Facebook ads, but we get a tremendous amount of organic traffic as well from YouTube. So
Okay.
that's kind of where you're like, if someone were creating a new quiz, you have to use like you have to use the direction and the choice of keywords based on like what your audience is already looking for. So when we created the spirit animal quiz, we already had a video on spirit animals that was doing extremely well. So it told us that people were looking for that type of content. So when we created the quiz, we were able to just add that call to action to our YouTube video that was already performing well because people were already interested in it. So we do, and then we created more videos around spirit animals because that one was performing well. So you kind of just have to like lean into, okay, this is what people are wanting, and then plug in the link to the quiz where you already have eyeballs going.
But just to clarify, if I'm correct, you have the Facebook ads going to a page on your website where you have the quiz embedded, correct?
Yes.
Correct. Okay, that's great. And is there a particular demographic of people you're targeting on Facebook?
Yes, we target people that show interest in spirituality, or people that show interest in Indigenous issues or Indigenous culture whatsoever. And we also target people that are just like lookalike audiences to who is already on our email list. So we have our email list is like synced with Facebook, so that when there's people that have similar profiles to people that have already taken the quiz or who are already on our email list, Facebook robots are able to find similar people to that, and then
lookalike audiences,
lookalike, and then show those ads to those individuals. So that's worked really well for us too.
Excellent. I'm pumped. So far you have about, let's say, 46,800 responses to that quiz alone, and about 27,000 contacts. When did you launch this quiz?
I think it was was it in October? Can you see these stats? I can't see these stats.
I could see. I could check it. I could check it out. Check it. October of last year. Okay. So less than a year.
Yeah.
and 27,000 contacts. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. And let's see. Also, I can see you have convert kits integrated to your quizzes. So what does your follow-up look like? Do we have like an automated follow-up that sends them, nurturing emails based on the result they get, or how does that look like?
Yeah, so I actually have 2 different email service providers integrated into my lead quizzes account. One is what you just said, ConvertKit, and that is actually that's actually connected to the most recent quiz that we created, which is, am I a good Indigenous ally? So we used the quiz on spirit animal and kind of replicated it for like using the 7 questions with 4 different results, instead of 7 results, 4 results, to tell people that took the quiz whether they are a good Indigenous ally or if they're not a good Indigenous ally, specifically targeting people that are non-Indigenous and wanting to learn about the culture and support Indigenous communities. So that's what that quiz is for, and that's the one that's pointing to or is integrated with ConvertKit. Now, our spirit animal quiz is actually integrated through Zapier.
Okay.
OmniSend. Yeah, we used OmniSend. Yeah, to connect with that one because it just made more sense for us to use that one, to use OmniSend to send our automation sequences, because we wanted to send them to Shopify collections that had like spirit animal designs and stuff like that. So after someone got their results from the quiz and said like, I'm the raven spirit animal, like my spirit animal is the raven, then we will send them an automation email sequence from OmniSend that says like, congratulations, you are the raven. And if you're interested, like learning about the raven, here's like the page to go to learn about that spirit animal. And if you're interested in shopping for stuff that has the raven spirit animal on it, then here's all the collections. So it kind of like, it's all connected.
Perfect. And I can also see that's excellent. On lead quizzes on your result page. So basically upon completion, you give them a result that has a link. And upon clicking that link, it takes them to a landing page that has their spirit animal.
Yes.
And I can also see you have resources in here. So a quick guide of the 7 grant for the teaching, learn more. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is excellent. All right. Is there any other thing you want to add? Is there something else you'd like to add to this? I have a couple of takes, but after the call, we can have a couple of feedback. So we got some result page.
Yeah, I think that having quizzes as a lead, like as a funnel, is next level, and that's like where if someone were starting with creating a new funnel, like lead, like creating quizzes allows you to qualify your leads as they're coming through, and that's something that I've noticed is really, really valuable, particularly from the spirit animal quiz, is that a lot of, even though we've got amazing results and got tons of leads from that, we're almost having to have a second level quiz after they take that first one to figure out if they're going to be in our bucket of like in a segment that is going to be in like a high ticket client versus just shopping for like t-shirts, right? Because we have like a lot of different offerings in the business, and if someone is coming into our funnel and they're interested in learning about their spirit animal, that's great, but they could be not at all interested and being an Indigenous ally, right? And like learning and all that stuff. And that's okay. But we need a way of knowing that. So that way we're not spending tons of money emailing them if they don't care. So it's good to have like a full, like long funnel and a strategy behind like everything that you're doing. And that's kind of what I've learned just from seeing all of these results, and then knowing which of our contacts are responding to our offers and which ones just aren't at all, because they just thought the quiz was fun and they weren't interested in like stuff later down the funnel, right?
I mean, it's a great technique to use to understand your audience better, and that way you can, you can tailor targeted messages towards their needs. So yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Mallory. It was really, really great to have you. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
All right. Thanks, Elvis.